About to go live. This is the real Pacers pregame. This is the real Pacers pregame that we dealing with tonight. So the game about to come on soon. Let me turn my TV down. But I thought I would come and give you some nuggets, some wisdom that you can get for the game of life, for the real game that's going on. So let somebody know we live. We live. Thanks for the support. Follow me on Stephen Motivate. On all platforms, Stephen Motivate. As we are going live in a second. We are going live in a second. We're 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 going live in a second. We are going live. We are going live. Thanks everybody for tuning in. We are going live soon. All right. Hopefully everybody can hear me. Hear me okay. All right. All right, all right, all right. What's up, everybody? Thanks for tuning in. Let's see. Appreciate y'all. We appreciate you guys for tuning in and kicking it with us. Kicking it with us. What's up, y'all? This is the real pregame. This is the real pregame for the Pacers. So, let's get into it. Let's get into it. What's up, everybody? What's up? It's your boy. Look, everybody is thinking about the Pacers versus Knicks tonight in the NBA. If you watch basketball, if you like basketball, it should be an exciting matchup. It's been a good series so far. Indiana's on top 3-1. But what's really interesting is not the game so much, and we're not going to be long because I want to go watch it myself. But what's really interesting is the game of life and how can we learn from the Pacers. And so we want to look at tonight, what can we learn from this team that is, the underrated, the underdog. Nobody really was expecting them to win, right? They say the Hicks versus the Knicks. Everybody wanted the Knicks to win. They got a great team. They're the big city. It's New York. Nap is, they disrespected town, said it's too sleepy. It's a sleepy place, but what can we actually learn from them tonight? What can we learn from the Pacers, the Indiana Pacers? And I'm from Indiana, so I'm all about it. I believe Indiana's going to win. So if you don't already know that, I'm going to tell you tonight that the series is over tonight. That's my prediction. What do y'all think? Y'all think the series is over tonight? I believe it is. I believe it's over tonight. So, but look, what's super important is how can we learn from this in our own lives? If you're not subscribed to me, y'all, go to subscribe, youtube.com/Stephen Motivate. And let's get into it tonight. Let's get into it. So the main thing that we want to really look at is what happens when you're underrated, when nobody's paying attention to you. The whole world was looking at the Knicks. The whole world is expecting the Knicks to win, right? Nobody's thinking about Indiana. Indiana's overrated, underrated, all of that. They've had every type of criticism that you can imagine. And, they don't really have the national spotlight. It's a minor city. Who's the MVP on the team? Halliburton, I clearly think so, but no one else did. Many people, Stephen A. Smith even said Halliburton was not a superstar. He's not a real superstar. He's like, he's not a real superstar in people's minds. But when you think about that, a team with no national spotlight, historically never won a championship, historically not been on the verge of really doing anything big, they're now about to shock the world. They're about to be in the finals. And some of y'all that are listening to me, y'all the same way. You're underpaid. You're overworked. You're underestimated. But yet and still, you're still moving towards your destiny. Even when everybody else is like, man, how are they doing it? What are they doing? Or what are they doing now? Or how did they even get there? They're really not that good. People will hate on you. People will talk mess about you. People will expect less from you. And only you know that you got that sauce. Only you know that you're a winner. Only you know that you can come through and do it and show up when nobody else will. Like, you are the one that believes in yourself when everybody else doesn't. And what I'm here to tell you tonight is that's not a bad place to be in. In fact, it's an advantage, not a disadvantage. It's an advantage when nobody believes in you. And it's an advantage when you're underpaid, overworked, underestimated. Why? Because it builds character in you, and it lets you really do some things that you otherwise wouldn't do if everybody was rooting you on, if everybody was cheering you on, if everybody had your back. Sometimes it's good to be the only one out there lonely by yourself, fighting by yourself, getting jumped, nobody to help you. That can be a good thing. That can be a good thing. So look, what can we learn from the Pacers? Number one, this team, the Indiana Pacers, they are the number one team in assists in the playoffs. So what do I mean by that? They have the most team assists. If you don't know basketball, an assist is when you throw someone the ball and they score, you get credited with an assist. Even though you didn't score, you get credited with assisting the score, right? But if nobody passes to you, if you're just out there, scoring on your own and you just dribbling the ball from court to court and nobody assist, then no one gets credit with an assist. But the Indiana Pacers, they don't just have one superstar. They have Halliburton, which I believe is a superstar. But when you look at how they play team first basketball. They play team first. So what's the lesson here? What's the point? When you don't have everything you need, or when you feel like you're lacking, when you feel like you're overworked, when you feel like you don't have enough around you, you've got to use partnership to build. You got to use partnership to build together versus trying to do it alone. If you try to do it alone, you're going to be broke alone. You're going to stay underpaid. You're going to stay overworked. But when you find a good partner, a lot of us entrepreneurs, what you really need is a partner. You need a good partner, somebody that's going to be strong in the areas where you're weak. And if you stop trying to do it all by yourself, trying to figure it out all by yourself, oh, this is me, this is my brand, nobody else can be a part of this is all mine, that's where you're going wrong. If you look at what the Pacers are doing, they are playing as a team. And the thing that's holding you back is you do not have a team. So what I want you to do right now is think of 3 areas where you could use a team. Think of 3 areas where you could use a partner. If I just had a good partner to help me with my finances, if I just had a good partner to help me manage the finances, if I just had a good partner to help me do graphic design, if I just had a good partner to help me create the music or the soundtrack that I need for my commercial or for my reels, where are you lacking a team member? Write it down. In 3 areas, where do you need a team? Where do you need a partner? Think about 3 areas where you need a partner. 3 areas where I just can't do this by myself. I'm trying to do it by myself, but I can't. I need a team. And some of you are thinking, man, I ain't got enough money for a team. I ain't got this, I ain't got that. You do not always have to pay with money. There are other ways to get a team. There are other ways to get support. There are other ways to get help. But first, you got to come to the realization that you need a team and that you're going to do what you need to do to fill that gap. If you look at the Indiana Pacers, they are the number one in team assists in the playoffs, and they're shocking the world. A lot of what you're missing could come down to you not having the team you need. Okay, so I want you to do that. Think of 3 areas where you need a partner, where you need a team, and think about those areas so you can get your mind wrapped around the fact that, maybe if I change my mindset on this, I could actually get the team that I need. All right, next thing that the Indiana Pacers are doing that is amazing, that is cool, that is impressive. They have led the entire league. Now, you know this if you're a basketball person, if you've been paying attention, because they keep saying it every night, and it's so fitting. It's very fitting to the name, the Indiana Pacers. What have they led the entire league in? Pace. They lead the entire league in pace. And what does pace mean? Pace is possessions per game. So they've led the entire league in pace during the entire season. They're getting more possessions per game. What does that mean? They're getting more chances. They're getting more chances to score. And so what's the lesson there for us that are trying to be entrepreneurs, trying to get to our bag? The lesson is you've got to keep moving. And you got to move quickly. Boom, boom. You got to move quickly. You got to keep the pressure on. You ain't got to be flashy, but you got to be moving. You ain't got to be perfect, but you got to be moving. You don't got to be a superstar, but you got to be moving because you need more possessions. You need more opportunities. You need to keep the ball in your hand. And too many of us, you're slowing down. You're not doing as much because you're getting wore out. One reason they can keep up with the pace as the Indiana Pacers is because they're playing as a team. When you play as a team, you can move. The stamina can stay up because we got people. We got more people. I got more people that can help me. Now I can keep the pressure on. I can keep going. You're running out of stamina because you're lacking the team. But as you get the team, you got to keep moving. You got to keep thinking of ways to show up and win. You got to keep posting. You got to keep calling, making phone calls, connecting with people, doing the sales pitch, asking people, hey, do you need this? Hey, do you need that? If you sell hats, you should be calling churches. Hey, do you guys need custom hats? Hey, do you need this? Finding out who needs what you have is a way of showing pace. Who needs what I have? Who needs? That's why you got to keep showing up because you got to find out who needs this. If you're a preacher, hey, I'm calling to find out, do y'all need a pastor on y'all staff? Do y'all need a chaplain? Because you have to keep the pressure on to really find out who needs what I have. You are the solution to somebody's problem, but if they don't know about you, they don't know that you can solve the problem. You got to keep pace up. That's what the Pacers are doing. They are keeping up the pace, and it is proving to be fantastic for them. They are having more possessions per game, and you've got to keep the ball in your hands. You got to keep moving. Put some fire in the chat if y'all understanding what I'm saying. If y'all feeling me, put some fire in the chat. So the other thing that the Pacers do that we've got to learn from, the Pacers have, and this really makes sense if you're a basketball person, but if you're not, just try to stick with me. The Pacers have the highest scoring bench in the playoffs. They have the highest scoring bench in the playoffs. So guys like T.J. McConnell, it's the little white boy that's dribbling the ball really fast, or Obi Toppin, who's coming in high-flying, dunking. They're changing the pace of the game, not because of ego, but just strictly off of energy. Strictly off the energy they're bringing to the game. But remember, they're coming off the bench. So
the lesson is you don't have to start the game to finish strong. You don't have to be the starter. You don't have to be the man with all the lights. You don't have to be out in front of the camera. You don't have to be that person for you to still win. Some of you are afraid of the camera, and that's okay. Some of you don't know what to do in certain areas, and that's okay. Some of your biggest wins will come behind the scenes, grinding while nobody else is seeing you. Just like the Pacers bench, your impact is more important than what it looks like. Them dudes is on the bench. They ain't no good. Nah, just give me a chance to get in the game, and I'm going to make an impact. The Pacers have the highest scoring bench. What does your bench look like? And if it's just you, what are you doing when nobody's looking? What are you doing when nobody's looking? For your business, for your character, for yourself? What are you doing when nobody's looking? Are you comfortable with you? Are you comfortable with the way you're showing up, with the way you're playing? You're not getting the accolades. Don't nobody know you. Don't nobody know your name right now. But that does not mean you can't have an impact. And when you get that in your mind, I'm going to have an impact regardless of how it looks. I'm going to show up regardless of how it looks. I know I look like a fool calling and making sales calls all day, but I want to keep doing it because it's what's not seen that matters. Not what's seen. Oh, man, they hung up on me again. You've got to be able to push through that, come off the bench, and still put up buckets. That's what the Pacers are doing. And it's really powerful. It's really motivational. It's really inspirational to know that I don't have to be the favorite one. I don't have to be admired by everybody. I just got to keep going. I just got to keep pushing. I just got to believe enough in myself to say, I'm going to get in front of this camera and I'm going to talk. I don't care if it's 0 people on, because I'm believing in me and I'm going to keep showing up for me and what I feel like I'm called to do. That's what we got to do. When you think about scripture, when you think about David and what we know about him in the Bible, David was never picked. He was never the one that anybody expected to win. Never. Never the one anybody expected to win. They didn't want to anoint him. They didn't want to give him any sort of props when he showed up on the battlefield. They tried to send him away. They're like, what are you doing here? People will try to push you off your square, push you off your purpose, say negative things to you. And they may not even mean it as negative, but the enemy will try to make it seem negative in your mind and from your viewpoint because he's trying to get you off your square. He's trying to keep you stuck. So you've got to get confident in the fact that it's okay if nobody knows me. It's okay if nobody's paying attention to me. As long as I know that I'm showing up, as long as I know that I'm doing my thing, I'm going to show up regardless. I'm going to show up regardless of what it looks like. And there's power in that. And so when you think about David in his life, you know, there are many times where he was outnumbered. He's getting in a battle. He's outnumbered. He's getting in a situation. He's anointed to be king. And it looks like somebody's coming after him, trying to kill him. There's one scripture in particular in 2 Samuel that I'm looking at now. And David says something like this. He says, the Lord has broken through my enemies before me like a breakthrough of water. And it's like, you look at this, the Philistines were trying to attack him, just as I was just describing. And you find out that he ends up winning the battle. But it's like he wasn't just being attacked because he was so weak or so vulnerable. It was actually the opposite. He's being attacked because the enemy knows, the true enemy knows he's so strong. He's got so much potential. He's got so much inside of him. So while you think you're behind, while you think you're nothing, while you think that it's all over with, that the business is going to fail and that you're not going to be able to succeed and you're never going to be married, and while that's rehearsing in your mind, you need a new word. You need a new thought. You need a new perspective that you're not behind. You're simply being positioned for a breakthrough. You need something to go through to have a breakthrough, right? You need something to be broken down to have a breakthrough. And so while the world is trying to break you down, it's trying to stop you from getting a breakthrough. You need to encourage yourself in that way because the world is not going to get it right. You've got to get with God, be strong enough in your faith to know, okay, what am I supposed to be doing here? And how can I do it to the best of my abilities? And when I get that settled in my mind, then I'm ready to go. But we've got to realize it won't be settled every day. It's just like the NBA playoffs. You got to get up and you got to fight again. You got to play the next game. You got to focus on the next game. And life is like, what's the next game? What's the next day? What's the next thing that I got to face? And I need to be mentally prepared for it. I have to settle in my mind that I'm ready. I've got to settle in my mind that I'm ready. Didn't nobody pick the Pacers? Nobody picked the Pacers. But they're playing as a team. They got help. You need to think about 3 areas where you need help. Nobody picked the Pacers. Not one single person picked the Pacers that wasn't a Pacer fan. Everybody thought the Pacers was going to lose. Everybody thought they'd probably get beat by Cleveland. Nobody picked them, but they're steady moving. They're steady trying things. They're moving with pace. They're not getting discouraged. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep getting after it. And they've got coaches and they got help and all that, but they're not going to stop moving. They're going to play with pace. And you got to live life with a pace. I'm going to try something new. I'm going to keep. And once you find something that works, you work it. When you find something that works, you work it. 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 You keep working the thing that works. And that's what the Pacers have been doing. That's why they're winning. They know when they play fast, when they play with pace, they win. And what areas of your life do you need to pick up the pace? I need to pick up the pace in my discipline. I need to pick up the pace with my schedule, with what am I deciding to do? How am I going to spend my time? How am I going to spend my time? How am I going to invest my energy? How am I going to spend my money? I need to pick up my pace as it relates to me understanding what I need to do with my money. Am I using it right? I'm always concerned about getting more of it, but are you using what you have correctly? Because the Bible says, this ancient book, this book that is proven to be a real document that's been tested for generations, that says that when you're faithful over a few things, you become a ruler over much. So you keep trying to get more income, but are you managing the income you have? What areas do you need to pick up the pace in? Think of 3 areas where you need to pick up the pace. I need to go a little bit harder. I need to go a little bit harder with my family. I need to make sure I'm there for my family. I'm killing it in entrepreneurship, but am I killing it for my family? Am I talking to my loved ones? Am I reaching out to them? Am I giving people happy birthdays? Am I checking on people? Life ain't just about money. Entrepreneurship ain't just about money. It's also about making connections with people. Am I checking on people? What areas do I need to pick up the pace in? And then lastly, how am I handling being on the bench? Coming off the bench. Can my ego handle coming off the bench? If I have to take a step back and not be the face of the thing, and not be in charge, and not call all the shots, and not be the big boss, can I take a step back and still have an impact? Can I eat some humble pie if I've got a 9 to 5, or if I need to go get a 9 to 5 to keep my entrepreneurship going? Am I willing to take a step back? The Pacers they have people that are willing to come off of the bench and still make an impact. What area of your life do you need to take a step back in? And not your ego, your pride might be hurt a little bit, but that doesn't have to affect your impact. Maybe I need to scale back. Maybe I bought too fancy of a car. Maybe I need to go back to a car that's less fancy, that's less luxury. That's what we're doing in our Turo business. We're scaling back. We're trying to get away from the luxury cars. Worst decision we ever made. Now we found something that works with the economy cars. That's what we're scaling back to. Is our pride a little bit hurt? Do we feel a little bit dumb that it's taken us this long to figure it out? Absolutely. But if I have to take a step back to take 5 forward, I'm willing to do that. I'm willing to come off the bench and know that I can still make an impact. What areas, what stuff do I maybe need to put on pause right now? I'm not going to be able to do that because this requires more of me right now. I got to take a step back. There's some goals and stuff I wanted to get to this year I haven't been able to get to yet. I got to take a step back. There's some investments I wanted to make. Can't make them. Take a step back. There's some stuff I wanted to buy. You got to use that money to invest in your business. Take a step back. There's some trips I wanted to take, some parties I missed, but I had to take a step back. And one reason the Pacers are winning, and I believe they will win tonight. Who y'all think gonna win? Put it in the chat. You got me on wax saying I think the Pacers are gonna win tonight, partly because they got people that know how to come off the bench. They're not worried about their ego. They're still bringing the energy, even though they had to take a step back. So look, I hope that helps you tonight. I hope that helps you the way it's helped me. If you're not watching the game, I hope you do. I hope you're rooting for the Pacers. But I hope more so that you understand, that you fully get it, that you get dialed into the fact that, man, there are ways that I need to make some changes. 3 people I may need to 3 areas I may need to have partners in. 3 things I need to pick up the pace in. And 3 things I need to step back from. Think about that. And I guarantee you, if you do, you'll see positive benefits in your life and in your business. This is your boy, Stephen Motivate. I appreciate you tuning in with me. Until next time, subscribe, leave some comments. Let me know what you thought. I'd love to hear from you. But most of all, stay motivated. Peace.